All right, Meta, what do you got for us tonight?
I've been watching Ash versus Evil Dead, and I gotta admit, I'm enjoying it. Uh,
What? You're
I'm
enjoying
sorry.
a TV show?
I'm watching a TV show. It has nothing
Mind
to do with family.
blown!
So for those of you who don't know what Ash and Evil Dead is, Ash versus Evil Dead is a show based off of Evil Dead, the movies, and technically Army of Darkness as well. Although honestly, it really, in my eyes, is kind of a mixture of the two.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah. So long story short, Evil Dead was a movie about this group of individuals who went to a cabin in the woods. They find the evil book called the Necronomicon, end up accidentally summoning an evil thing back, murders everybody except for Ash, who then gets his hand chopped off and has to do cool stuff, and eventually kills all of his buddies and then leaves. And then he gets awesome and badass. And then in Army of Darkness, he ends up teleporting into the medieval realm, ends up fighting these dark evil creatures, and doing it all while doing it like a total badass, using a sawed-off shotgun and like a chainsaw for a hand, and it's just good. It's really good stuff.
Lots of good, great one-liners.
It's great one-liners. It's corny. It's fun. It knows what it's trying to do. It's trying to be a comedy in versus Army of Darkness, and then in Evil Dead, it can be kind of spooky and jump scary, but there's still some cheese even in there that we all have come to find.
It's got the Sam Raimi goodness.
Yeah, it's got the Sam Raimi goodness, and that's really what it's all about. Sam Raimi feeling. So Ash versus Evil Dead is essentially the story of Ash years later, where he accidentally summons up some evil forces and is now on a quest to put them back in the book.
Who would have saw it coming?
That's pretty much that. And that's the story.
It's like a crappy job at a department store or something, doesn't he?
Pretty much, yeah.
I've only seen the first episode.
Yeah, he still got that shitty job in the department store. It's honestly, it's a very enjoyable series thus far. The action scenes are, as always, filled with hilarious amounts of gore. It's the cheesy corniness that you kind of come to love. I mean, like, there's really not else to say about that, but I've enjoyed it. I've watched 8 episodes out of the first season. I'm still missing the last 2 for the first one, but I will definitely be finishing it.
What?
What?
Okay, so I don't know why I didn't keep watching it, because my friends talk about it all the time and they really enjoy it and say it's good. I need to get back to it eventually, but do you think it's more Army of Darkness-y or Evil Dead-y? Because I personally, I mean, everyone who's a fan of the Evil Dead movies always has their favorite one. It's like Final Fantasy. Everyone has their favorite Final Fantasy. They want to argue about which one's the best. It's the same thing with Evil Dead.
That's how franchises work, yes.
Yes, thank you, Mal. Thank you. It felt, at least the first episode, felt a lot more Army of Darkness-y to me. And I'm a bigger fan of Evil Dead. Kind of the more horror-y stuff. I like Army of Darkness, but it does... I don't know if it actually keeps with the horror elements more so, or it's more the kind of comedy-esque stuff that the show eventually focuses on.
It's kind of weird at times because, like, without giving anything away for the series, because, you know, obviously it just got put to Netflix recently, so for those of you who because everybody has Netflix, that means you can now watch it. It's definitely, I think it draws a lot more inspiration from Army of Darkness. It's very clear that it's not taking itself anywhere near as seriously as it would have in not Army of Darkness, and Evil Dead. Because, I mean, Evil Dead, it's Sam Raimi. So Sam Raimi always has, like, just that kind of self-awareness of what he's making is very clearly going to be, you know, what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to choose, I would definitely say it leans more towards Army of Darkness overall. But there are key moments in there, kid you not, that really do fall, like, back into this is Evil Dead. And there are some really good points on there where Sam Raimi kind of like sets aside the silliness of everything, and some scenes come along and they're really good and nicely done, very nicely done, that fall far more into Evil Dead than they do Army of Darkness. So overall, you're probably gonna get more Army of Darkness, but the moments where you get Evil Dead, you know it.
Yeah, because all the good monster effects and some of the cinematography from Evil Dead's what I really enjoyed. Like, I love the parts of Evil Dead where the camera's really low to the ground, and you know what I'm talking about, and it's going fast through the woods and stuff like that.
You're gonna get a lot of that.
Shots.
You're gonna get a lot of that. That shows up tons in here, but never. I say tons, but I don't mean that in like that's like it shows up too much.
Yeah,
it's like a fucking dump truck.
It's not. It's not like J.J. Abrams stuff.
No, it's not like J.J. Abrams. It shows up. It's almost. I think it happens like almost nearly in every episode, but it's always with purpose. So it's always being done. It's always a nice back, and you're always interested in just following the camera and seeing wherever the hell it's taking you on its wild ride.
Yeah. Sam Raimi is for sure. He's one of my favorite directors because I love the Spider-Man movies too, and even 3, the one that people dog on constantly. I think I've said that a few times on the podcast.
Yeah,
because it's very Sam. Because you can tell when you're watching a Sam Raimi movie. Just he has a very distinct like. I don't want to say cheesy because that's almost like a pejorative term, but. It is kind of a cheesy style, and I love his sense of humor too, and I like how he can transition from even some of the Spider-Man stuff has some like horror aspects in it when you get like Doctor Ock, like when the machines like control him. And he's like, what's going on? Like that's a very like very Evil Dead scene.
That scene, I remember that scene specifically because I just thought to myself, "Wow, this is really like it transitions," as you said. And I mean, I'll say it first. I thought it was really good. Just this idea that like he knows that they're invading his mind, so to speak, and making him rethink things, but they're always tempting him, talking him. But you never know what they're saying. You just know that there is an AI or something about those arms is talking to his mind.
Yeah, they're their own character.
Sense to him, yeah, but you never really know what it is. It was actually a really well done scene. I enjoyed that almost transition of where he like drops everything and kind of becomes a villain, all because the coercion of the arms is like, no, you can fix this. You can fix this. You just have to do it again.
Yeah, and
so
it's also great that they got what's his name to come back and
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell. Thank
you.
Yes. Yeah. Has he still got it?
He's still got it.
I heard he's the best part of the show.
He's literally the best part of the show. There's no other character.
Like Bruce Campbell.
Everyone loves Bruce Campbell.
It's really hard to hate Bruce Campbell. I mean, he just does an excellent job. He plays Ash like this dude who is he plays Ash.
Oh, he's been like that's he basically that's his big role, right? Like one of his biggest role. So and he's got a lot of experience with it at this point.
Yeah, but even so, even after like all these years of doing those movies, because he's been in other stuff since then.
Yeah.
And he's had different types of characters, but I mean, just the fact that he can jump right back into Ash and then make it so fun.
He's always done a lot of like B horror.
Yes, that is his thing. He enjoys it. Fuck, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
He gets to be over the top and
he gets to be over the top.
Ball.
It's so fun. Like cheesy, like B horror movies are very fun for me. I love
B horror movies.
They're great. They're absolutely fantastic. But like when Bruce Campbell is running, it's like the difference is like I guess it's really simple. Is that when Bruce is running in that horror movie, you're just like, oh baby, sit down, put that seatbelt on because you're about to go for a ride. And it's almost like a Bruce Campbell 100% guarantee that you're gonna enjoy whatever you're about to watch.
So,
what's up?
I usually enjoy horror movies for the reason I'm about to ask. How are the jump scares in this?
You know what?
Jump scares in general.
There's not a lot. In fact, so little that you actually have to kind of seek them out. There's not really much in the way of jump scares. But even when there are jump scares, you know they're coming. That's like it's almost a relief. Like a jump scare is going to come. Yeah, well, it's always based on like the most recent jump scare. Classical guy checks door, nothing's there. Then something reaches through, grabs him, pulls him out. I'm like, you fucking see it a mile away. He's like, I know exactly how this is going to play out, but you still enjoy it all the same.
Okay.
Even though it's a jump scare. So there's always like signs, or there's always like not stereotypes, tropes, thank you. Always the tropes of like those kind of scares and whatnot, but you see them coming. There's very few.
Like they're more played for laughs, right?
Yeah, they're almost always played for laughs. Like, you know what's going to happen. You know that if there's going to be a jump scare here, you know what it's going to be. And even then times when they do set up, for a lot of times they'll set up for jump scares, but there never is.
They just don't happen. Yeah.
Yeah, they just don't happen.
Lamp shading.
Yeah, which is always great. I always appreciate that because I'm with Tets. I freaking hate jump scares. I always know they're coming. They still get me. I don't want to be startled.
Like, I don't mind horror. Like, I love, the whole psychological horror where I am terrified as I'm watching this. But I don't want my terror to come from a sudden jolt of adrenaline, because then I don't know. I don't feel well when I get adrenaline pumping through me that way, and I just start not enjoying myself because my body is hurting. And
I understand.
You should play Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion.
I've actually watched some of that, and it's great.
It's actually a really good game.
Yeah, you should watch The Void, Tess, if you haven't seen that.
I haven't yet.
It's very good. Has no jump scares in it. But anyways.
No, actually, like I kind of agree with you guys. I don't. I actually hate jump scares. I think they're
the big problem with modern horror, in my opinion.
Like, jump scares. Look, here's the equivalent of a jump scare. You walk downstairs, your grandmother comes around the corner, and you get surprised. That's a fucking jump scare.
Yeah, it's
okay.
You get startled.
I get as easily startled by my grandmother doing that as opposed to some dude in a spooky mask jumping out at the camera going ooga booga booga.
That was the problem with it. The big problem with it.
I just like, jump scares are very cheap, and they're not a scare. They're just startling because you have something jumping at you. And hey, it turns out our natural inclination when something's jumping at you is either to A, punch it in the face, or B, jump back,
right?
Because it might be trying to get you.
I don't know. Like, one or two jump scares. That's okay because it helps set the tone. But when it's all about jump scares,
yeah,
I don't know. And that's what you get with your a lot of the found footagey stuff. What's it called? Paranormal Activities are all jump scares.
Paranormal Activities.
The stupid doll movie and all the whatever it spun off, Annabelle and Conjuring, and I hate all those movies because they're just jump scares. They're not interesting.
The closest I come to horror is horror comedy.
Yeah, Mal's all about that Cabin in the Woods.
Army of Darkness is my favorite of these.
Yeah.
Well, you're just subjectively wrong. No, I'm just joking.
Wrong. But
it's subjective.
Just trying to think if there's anything else I really want to touch on it. It does really cool.
How are the new characters in it?
The new characters are cool. I enjoy them. Both Pablo and can't remember her name for the life of me. I want to say it's Lucy, but I think that's the actress's name, not the actual character.
Kelly.
Kelly. Yes. Are both fun. They're fun to watch, but Pablo, hands down, is like by and far the more entertaining character for me because he's such a contrast to Ash. Ash is very just casual about ending up having to use a gun, shoot things.
Yeah, he's gone through a lot.
He's gone through a lot, so this is just like a normal week. He just kind of hates it, and it's like it just sucks, but whatever. He wants to get laid. Pablo is always kind of a bit. He's more like the kind of the nerdier guy who's a bit awkward in social creations, and it's just a very fun contrast of seeing them go back and forth at times. Of how you have this one dude who's like a little bit nervous about everything, who's not really certain of himself in anything. and Ash, who's just always very clear on how things are going to have to be done, so much so that he's often dense and says things at the most appropriate time, or callous in how he says stuff. It's just very fun. There's literally like there's one point where he takes like a beer bottle and he's like, or he says like, you know, what if we run into those things again? He's like, well, then you just take your weapon. And he says, but it's just a beer bottle that you broke. You had to stab it like 50 times. He's like, what do you want from me? It's that kind of stuff. It's just always fun and entertaining to see, especially considering the context of that scene in and of itself. It just makes it better if you've actually seen the episode. I was gonna say before, the camera angles are really well done. They use a lot of different interesting angles. Sam Raimi is always trying to find different ways to like put up the camera either above or below. He'll try to cause it to like you can see it sweeping the room or looking at things that you really wouldn't want it to look at. But you know, like there's something might be just in the corner. You're like, come on, swing over there. But gosh damn it better not be a jump scare kind of thing. He does a lot of cool stuff. He uses angles when they're appropriate. It's very fun in and of itself just to watch the just to watch how he moves around, has the camera being moved around a lot, and the whole thing. And then obviously the Deadites, the evil creatures of the show itself, very fun. They have a very generic look to them, but they're always twisted. They're always shouting things to the people that they're going after, saying like either dark secrets and twisting it and perverting it. They're very fun in that regard. They gush blood whenever they take a hit. They're all over the place. It's very fun. They're absolutely fun, and they're cheesy in all regard. You'll see them like running on walls and shit or crawling around. It's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
Season 3 premieres February 25th.
Oh, wow.
My God, I gotta be ready.
Gotta have that Star subscription.
Gotta have the Stars subscription. Stars.
What is Mal's opinion on Zombieland?
I love it.
I thought that's a very good movie.
Yeah.
All right, what were you saying, Matt? Sorry, I just had to ask him that.
How dare you? You ruined my.
I'm pretty sure when we had our favorite horror, I said that was my favorite.
Did you? Okay, that's probably why I thought that.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I think that's really about covers everything. I can't really go into more than that without starting to give away the actual show. Yep. But I would definitely give it a thumbs up. Definitely give it a recommendation. If you liked Evil Dead, if you liked Army of Darkness, go watch it. It's a fun ride. If nothing else, it's one of the better shows out there because it doesn't take itself seriously. It knows it doesn't need to, and it's going to have fun along the way.
There you go.